Hey guys, Mr. Decker here. This is Unit 2 on Web Development, and this is Lesson 2 Intro to HTML. Alright, let's explore. It says, Welcome to WebLab. The platform you are in is called WebLab. There are three main parts of the screen in WebLab. Do this. Try typing something in the workspace. Alright. This is the workspace. So let's explore a little bit before we move on. Up here, this little diagram, we've got our file space over here, which will be important later. We have our workspace where we type out all of our HTML and CSS code. And then over here, we have a preview of what the website will look like. So let's do this part. We're on bubble 1. Try typing something in the workspace. Well, let's be literal about that. Something in the workspace. Great. All right, and then it says press refresh and save to see it in the preview area. So here is the refresh and save. And there it is. I've put something on a website. I could also say something like, I love computer science, which is absolutely true. And I refresh and save, and it updates. All right, let's move on. Let's finish and continue. Looks like we've got a video to watch here. So let's check it out.
My name is Milani. I'm a curriculum development intern here at Code.org, and I'm also a computer science student at Cascadia College. I always liked the fact that I can make whatever I want with computer science. I've been able to make really cool websites that are about topics I'm really passionate about, and I just really enjoy that there's so many different ways to express myself through such an outlet. Websites are everywhere, and they're the primary way many people get their news, keep up with friends' activities, learn new information, and share the details of their lives. Right now, you might be a consumer of websites created by others, but you're about to learn how to be a website creator with the power to make and share something brand new with the entire world. To do this, you'll be using WebLab, a unique tool that allows you to create your own websites with many of the same capabilities as a professional web developer. The instructions section includes directions for the project you're currently working on. When you're ready, you can collapse the instructions and shrink the size. Below the instructions, WebLab has a list of files and images that will appear on the website. Just like a news website has different pages for the front page, the arts and entertainment page, and the science page, your website will eventually have multiple pages based on files stored here. To edit a web page, you'll need to navigate to the right file name that corresponds to that page. Every project starts with a single index.html file, which is the main page of your website. When you click on the index.html file, it pulls up the contents of the file over here in the workspace. The workspace is where you develop your website. You can start by typing anything in the workspace. Let's put a title at the top of our page, followed by a paragraph about our page. As you type, you may see some of your changes appear automatically in the preview area. Some kinds of changes will not appear automatically. If your change doesn't appear immediately, just click the refresh button above the preview area to update the preview. You'll notice that all the content on your web page gets lumped together, which is not what we want. But stay tuned. You'll soon learn ways to better control how your content appears.
All right, very good. Let's move on to Bubble 3 and see what it has in store for us. Okay, so on Bubble 3, this is a web page written in HTML, the language of the web. You'll learn more about how it works, but first explore it by using the Inspector tool. Do this. It says click the tip, how do I use the Inspector tool on the right to learn how to use the Inspector tool. So let's go ahead. Here's the tip. All right, the Inspector tool is a great way to learn more about unfamiliar code in WebLab. To turn on the Inspector tool, click Inspector off. So find this button. It's located right here. All right, we've clicked it and it now says Inspector on. You will know that the Inspector tool is on because the button will turn white and say Inspector on. Ah, big brain. Okay, once you turn on the Inspector tool, You can hover over anything in the preview area, and WebLab will highlight the code that is making that part of the page appear. Cool. All right, so if I hover over Welcome to WebLab, then it looks like line 7 in the code in the workspace is highlighted over there with the H1 header tag surrounding it. When I hover over this line where it says this is a web page, now line 8 in the code is highlighted. All right. And then this says you're looking at an actual web page written in HTML, the language of the web. On the left side, you can see the code used by your computer to create this page. So this has a paragraph tag around it on line 9 in the code over here. And then inspector tool with an H2 tag. This paragraph says use the inspector tool to see what pieces of code are linked to what text on the web page. Go through it with a partner so you can discuss what you're seeing. So basically what I'm seeing, or I think I'm seeing, is each of these lines of code is corresponding to an item over here. So this paragraph is separated out as a paragraph because it has these paragraph tags surrounding it. Okay, and over here discussing, and then down here with a friend, and then it looks like we have a bulleted list down here. And it looks like, okay, there's the paragraph. And then over here, we have our unordered list tag here, end unordered list tag there, and then the list tags within for each of these bulleted items. Very cool. All right, so I like the inspector tab. That's cool. All right, Bubble 4, we've moved on. Let's watch this video as well.
In this video, you're going to learn about using HTML to add structure to your web pages. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language and is found on all websites across the internet. There are a bunch of different HTML structures you can use on your web page, including headers, lists, paragraphs, links, and images. Let's take a look at how to create a paragraph in HTML. The sentence we wrote for our web page would look better if it was distinctly different from the title of the web page. To separate the two, you need to let the computer know that all of this text is a part of a paragraph and not the title. You can do this by creating a paragraph element. Most elements are made up of 3 main parts: an opening tag, the contents to be displayed, and a closing tag. Tags are a part of HTML language, and they signal to the computer the start and end of an element. In this case, it's a paragraph. Tags let the computer know what we want to display on the screen and what we don't want to display. That's why tags include special characters like the less than and greater than to distinguish from the content. Paragraphs are just one type of structure you can use in a web page. Soon you'll learn about a number of other structures that will give you even more power to customize your website.
Very good. All right, moving on to Bubble 5. All right, this icon means that this level is a part of a larger project, and changes will be saved across these levels. So this icon right here. All right, so whenever I see that, I need to make sure that everything is good on this bubble so that when I go to the next one, it's ready. All right, add text to the body. When you start any WebLab project, it will automatically add the doctype, HTML, head, and body tags to your project. When you add content to your projects, you'll need to do it between the start body and end body tags. Let me get that out of the way, because it should be part of the body of your web page. Do this. Write 3 separate sentences about any topic you like inside of the body tags of your web page. All right, so first of all, before we write our sentences, let's nail down where to put all of our code when we're creating the body of our web page. So here's the start body tag, here's the end body tag, here's the doctype, HTML, head, and end HTML tags that it was talking about earlier. So basically the HTML tag is telling the computer, hey, I'm about to do this with HTML. Here's the start and end tags for the HTML. Here's the start and end tags for the head of this page. We'll learn more about that later, I'm sure. And then the start and end body tags that where between these two, we type everything that we need to type. So first, it says to write 3 separate sentences about any topic I like. So any topic I like, let's see. Let's go with I love computer science. I'm going to hit my enter key one time to create a blank line there. I'm going to say I love my cats, and I think coding is really fun. Exclamation points for all. There we go. And I'm going to put my cursor at the beginning of line 6 there, hit my tab key, because I just want that to look more uniform. It says hit refresh and save if you don't see the changes, but I already see the changes that I made. And it looks like even though I've put these on 3 separate lines, it's all showing up at the top of my web page over here. Maybe there's something to that. So we've done everything we're supposed to do here. Let's move on to the next bubble. All right, bubble 6. It says use paragraph tags. The start paragraph and end paragraph tags, or paragraph start and end tags, are placed around text to indicate that it is part of a paragraph. Placing text between paragraph start and end tags lets the computer know that it should be treated differently, often just spacing it out from the other text. Do this. It says place the text you just wrote inside at least 2 separate paragraphs by surrounding it with the start paragraph and end paragraph tags. Okay. And then up here we have some hints. We have what is a paragraph element. This says paragraphs are marked by opening and closing tags. Paragraphs in HTML can be any length of text from one word to a bunch of sentences. Paragraphs group together sets of sentences and put some space between that group of text and the next group of text. How do I make multiple paragraphs? Well, here's an example of several paragraphs tags in a row. This code would be placed inside of the body of your web page. So again, inside the 2 body tags. So if you're typing down here, no. If you're typing up here, no. Always between the body tags. All right, so paragraph, start paragraph, end paragraph. This is a paragraph that has 2 sentences. This is another paragraph. Okay, so let's go ahead and start doing that. So I'm going to find those keys on my keyboard. They're next to the M, so let's go. So less than symbol P, greater than symbol, and then I'm going to click to the end of that line and put in the end paragraph tag. Oh, cool. It automatically separated it out in my work from the workspace paragraph tag to becoming reality on my website. That's cool. All right, let's continue. Let's build out some more paragraph tags. Start and now end that paragraph. And then we're going to start and end this paragraph as well. So each time, I'm just clicking around where my cursor needs to be and then typing the start and end paragraph tags. And it'll look cool. So it separated out my lines. Neat. Let's move on to bubble 7. All right. On bubble 7, it says debug, fix the broken tags. This simple web page has some issues which are preventing the content from being displayed correctly. Identify and fix the issues. This practice is also called debugging your code. Do this. Fix the broken code so that the web page displays correctly. Okay. So looking down here between these body tags on line 5 and line 9, I'm looking at line 6 here. There's a start paragraph tag. This sentence should be on its own, but there's no end paragraph tag, and you can see the result of that over here. So let's go ahead and put an end paragraph tag there. Refresh. Separated that out. Good. And then over here, we've got some pink code, and it looks like it's pink because there's no start paragraph tag right there. And then line 9 has some pink code, but there's nothing wrong with that body tag. Nobody's gone in and modified that. Looks like we have a messed up end paragraph And then the start paragraph is over here. So first, I'm going to take that out of there, get rid of that slash mark, and then over here for this one, I'm going to add the slash mark in front of the P. And that's important. When you're ending a tag, you always want that slash to be in front of the P or the H or whatever it might be that you're creating. So over here, it looks like all three of my sentences are fixed and my website looks exactly as it's supposed to. Very cool. So let's look up here because it says, why does the code sometimes turn pink? Let's look. WebLab is programmed to automatically detect some mistakes in HTML. When it notices a mistake, it turns that code pink. The mistake might be in pink or it might be somewhere before the pink code. You'll need to carefully debug to find your mistakes. Good hint. All right, and then what is a paragraph element? Again, it's just anything on your website that starts with a paragraph tag and ends with an end paragraph tag. And then let's go to the second one. Why does HTML seem to work even when it's broken? Well, HTML is read by your browser to generate web pages. And since people often make little mistakes when writing their web pages, browsers are programmed to make a best guess of what you intended to do. And sometimes different browsers are even programmed to make different guesses. So the only way to ensure that your code looks like you intend it to look is to make sure that you're always using the tags correctly. So to make sure your website looks the way you want it to look, you got to make sure you don't have any bugs in your code. All right. And that's it for this one. Once you have this sorted and you've debugged this website, then go ahead and click Finish. And it says you are finished with lesson 2. Check in with your teacher for the next activity. Oh, and there will be more. There will be many, many more activities. So I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did.